Oh, Nunu said something about the parents. They was looking for the right on the east side. No, they came to the city and went to the east side to try to hide. Trying to come in our neck of the woods. Well, they saying that they gave the boy the gun. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. Talking about they was up there earlier. They talking about they went home and gave the boy the gun. Something. Sounds stupid to me, all of them.
That was good. Right here.
Yeah, what was it? It's in one of them white neighborhoods. Might put me on there. Yeah. Peace and love, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Freedom Riders. Glad you all could join us today. Glad to have you all here. I'm grateful to be here. I want to say affirmation. I wanted to say I'm so happy and grateful now that vast improvement comes quickly in every phase of my life now, every day, in every way. Things are getting better for me now. If you guys want to unmute yourselves and, just read, just say a quick reading, you can. Peace and love. Glad to have you all here.
Peace and love, everybody.
Peace and love,
I'm barely
mother.
awake, but I'm here.
Yeah, I got up early, made my tea, up bright and early, ready to get things going this morning, this rising. So
That's good. I think I'll make some tea too.
awesome. Let's see. We did quite a bit of reading this past Thursday in the book. I really don't even know where we left. Let me see. So I think we left off about where it starts on page 23. That's the last place I was highlighting. Step-by-step instructions for the authentication process. Before we started, I did want to, you guys don't know this, but I do sing, and it's a song that's been on my heart for the past couple of days, and it's actually Dr. G's song, so I hope she doesn't mind me singing this song, but she plays it every time when Grand Chic Taj Tariq Bey comes on. So I just wanted to sing it because it's a beautiful song, and hope you guys like. So it goes. The deeper and deeper I go, find what it is I should know. 'Cause it's just a matter of time that you reawaken your mind. Oh, come with me, look and you will find out what is true. Then you'll know what's in store just for you. No more living a lie. I can look to the sky and say I'm reawakening minds. Look and you will find out what is true. Then you'll know what's in store just for you. No more living a lie. I can look to the sky and say I'm reawakening minds. So that's just a little song I wanted to share with you all, because we are definitely reawakening minds. We are feedback.
Oh, that song woke me up. That perked me right up.
Oh, sounds great, Mother.
Thank you. So yeah, we're gonna start off on page 18, actually, where it's talking about the step-by-step instructions for authentication process. That's actually where we left off at. A lot of more information in this book, so we're definitely gonna get through it today. I'm just gonna go through and read it. And then Mother Martin, if you can, as we're continuing our reads, because there's a lot of different links and information that you're gonna need as we're reading. So if you can put that in the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right. So step-by-step instructions for authentication process. Order your certified birth certificate through Vital Records online from your birth state. So we already talked about, they have a website here, but it's actually vitalcheck.com with a K. So check without the C, CHEK.com. You request several certified copies. The book suggests minimum of 3, but probably 5 is better. This will be printed on bond paper. Once you receive the certified bond copies, you will go to the Secretary of State website for most states. However, in some states, for example, Hawaii, you will need to locate the correct department for authentication. You will fill out the form on the Secretary of State or authorized office website to request each birth certificate to be authenticated. At the very least, send them a certified mail receipt, but it is recommended to send them registered mail because your documents are in the possession of a postal service employee at all times. Please note that some states will only provide an apostille. For example, California, you will need to request travel to a non-Hague country, such as Indonesia, to have the apostille corrected. Once you receive the authenticated birth certificates back from the Secretary of State, you will then send them to the U.S. Department to be authenticated. There is a link to the website, to the form, and the address to send it to. So Mother Martin will put that in the chat for us. It says send a check or money order for $8 for each birth certificate to be authenticated. Not sure what if that price is correct, so you just want to verify that with them on their website. It says, what if your birth certificate name is not in all capital letters? Some states are issuing birth certificates with proper case name. In that case, you will use the name assigned on the birth certificate and follow the other steps accordingly. Hand carry option for U.S. State Department authentication. This option below will have Tony Azuzzi hand carry your birth certificate to Sterling, Virginia office for U.S. State Department authentication. Please note, they only open their office from 8 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. The fee for this service is $40, which includes the State Department. Multiple copies are $30 each. 3 BCs equal $90. You must mail the documents in a large envelope using FedEx and must include an envelope filled out with the return address, postage prepaid. So all Tony has to do once he gets the documents authenticated is put it in the envelope provided and mail it back. The authenticated document will have a brass ring attached. Allowed 3 days turnaround plus mailing time. So it gives Mr. Azuzzi's address as well. So we'll make sure you guys have that information in the chat if you need it. Step 2 is to assign U.S. Treasury to the Treasury. Sign U.S. Secretary of the Treasury as the straw man's fiduciary. So it says how to correct your political status and why. Please note, the information below is corrected and updated to apply to American state nationals. In the original article, it had instructions to create a Treasury direct account using the registered mail number. This is for U.S. citizens only, not for American state nationals. If you accidentally requested this, simply send a notice of correction letter to the Secretary of State. Which is no longer Mnuchin. I don't know who it is right now. The template is located below. You have been mischaracterized and defrauded, and you have prima facie evidence of that readily available. You think of it as your birth certificate, but it is really not. It is a certification that a federal municipal person, which is your straw man, or another, it's a fake fictitious entity, was created and named after you, and that at one point in your life you were a real American. You were born on your birthday, but the municipal person has a birth date, which is several days or weeks later the filing date shown on your certificate. So it's not your birth date, your actual birth date. Is a date that comes after, once they get this all bonded, that comes on your birth certificate. It says, note that the birth certificate is printed on bond paper. It is a security instrument or a security negotiable instrument. Also note that it has been signed by the register an officer of the probate court. So I wanted to stop there and look up, so we will know the actual legal term for security instrument. So I got the legal dictionary.
As well, Mother, can you tell me what page we're on again? I'm sorry, I kind of came in late. My apologies.
Peace, Mother, welcome. We're on page 21 right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So I just want to look up, let me make this big. Okay. So we're gonna look up security instrument. A security instrument is a generic name for something that gives a creditor rights and property for the protection of a debt from the borrower. It may include a security agreement for personal property, or a mortgage or a deed of trust on a real property. So I like this website, and I'm gonna put it in the Telegram chat for y'all, because this website, when you click on each word, it will actually give you the definition for each word, and then you can click here and you can find, so they have like the dictionary definition, the thesaurus definition, medical dictionary, legal dictionary. So we want the legal definition when we dealing with this stuff for the most part. So you just, this is how you use it. So I wanted to show you guys that, because every word that we think we know the meaning of always has another meaning, as you can see here, like generic or whatever. Has generic drugs, generic medicine, generic Viagra. So it has different meanings. So you always want to know what the meaning is when you're dealing with this stuff. And most of the time it's going to be the legal definition. So it also has the financial dictionary. So that's actually, because we're dealing with banking too, that's another definition that we want to make sure we have an understanding of, the legal and the financial definition of it. So this is a good website to have. So I'm gonna put this in the chat for y'all. It's the free dictionary by Farlex. Put it in the Telegram chat. So it's gonna be in the comment section of today's post for the Zoom post, so you guys can find it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back to reading. Says, also note that it has been signed by the registrar and officer of the probate court. This is prima facie evidence that your earthly estate was probated when you were only a few days or a few weeks old, and that it was seized upon by the state of whatever state you live in, or the state of, so this is in upper and lowercase or all capital. And then it says operated for its benefit, not your benefit from that time. So this is why you want to do this step too, because you want to make it to the point where it's back in your jurisdiction and your control, where you can benefit from it and not them. It says step 2. So step 2, ditch the federal municipal person and the responsibilities and obligations associated with it. You need to get the birth certificate certified, and then you need to endorse it and surrender it to the U.S. Treasury of the Treasury. I'm sorry, to the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury. Please note the 2 dots between the U and the S, the U.S. Treasury, and make Stephen Mnuchin, or whoever the Secretary of State is at this moment, the fiduciary responsible for it. The endorsement is simple but exact. The certified birth certificate that the person, that the birth sec, I'm sorry, let me start over. The certified birth certificate that the birth state Secretary of State sends back to you will have a cover page riveted or hard stapled and firmly attached to the front of the BC. Please note, in some cases, the state may use just a certified seal. For example, Washington. Every state is different. Leave that cover page attached, and on the front of the BC itself, in the upper left-hand corner, and in red ink, write accepted by draw E, and sign it by putting by, and then your upper and lowercase signature, and date it. Then turn the BC over, and on the back anywhere, write in red ink, paid to the order of the United States of America, U.S. Treasury, without recourse. And again, write by, and then put your signature in your upper and lowercase with a date. Next comes the Form 56, which is the IRS form called Notice of Fiduciary Relationship. This is your notice to the Secretary of State that you are making him and his office responsible for the all capital letter person named after you. The Form 56 BC is very simple. The name of the person is the name of the BC, which you are returning to the Treasury. The name of the fiduciary is the Secretary of State or the Secretary of the Treasury. You can look up the address online. I believe it is 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C., 220, Section AF, Other Public Commercial Trust Administration, Section B, blah, blah, blah. On the back, part 2, 7C, other surrender and federal person to the U.S. Treasury. Okay. On the back, part 3, court and administrative proceedings, enter the name and address of the agency issuing the BC. The date proceeding initiated will be the file date, which is never your birth date, but a few days or weeks later. The docket number will be the state file number on the BC. The time will be the time you were actually born, and the place of other proceedings will be USA. On the back, part 5, signature, write the word by, like BY, and then draw a line to a newspaper story, like a byline to a newspaper story. So we've already discussed this. Write by with a colon, then sign your name in upper and lowercase, and then you put authorized representative and date it. Underneath the signature in a blank space, it is appropriate to say that you wish to be indemnified against claims or losses under the sovereign U.S. private registered indemnity bond with the bond number. This is basically a bond posted in behalf of all the actual states of the Union and all the people living in those states, assuring them against any further claims related to the municipal persons they have surrendered back to the Secretary of Treasury. And that is that you have now surrendered the municipal citizen back to whence it came, and you have insured yourself against any other claims or losses or charges brought against that person. Along with the Form 56, you should include a brief letter stating that it is your instruction to operate exclusively under 100% commercial liability and without benefit of any limited liability or other benefit of the Public Charitable Trust, PCT. You are going to send this package of documents via registered mail to the Treasury. Each red and white registered mail label available with instructions at all post office is unique and has an alphanumeric identifier to track it. Also ask him to settle all debts and charges related to your name. Thank him for his time and attention. Well, that was a royal pain, and you should have never have been entrapped and obligated by your employees in the first place. Again, we're gonna highlight employees, meaning you are the employer, but they treat you like an employee, right? But now you have taken action to sever the presumption that you are volunteering to act as a federal municipal citizen, and nobody can say otherwise. From now, it is the Secretary of Treasury's problem, and you are indemnified against any further claims or complaints related to it, the straw man. Step-by-step instructions for assigning your straw man fiduciary. Take one certified birth certificate that the birth state Secretary of State sends back to you. It will have a cover page riveted or hard stapled and firmly attached to the front of the BC. You leave that cover page attached and on the front of the BC itself in the upper left-hand corner. In red ink, you write, accepted by drawee, and sign it with your upper and lowercase signature along with the copyright symbol, and you date it. Turn the BC over, and on the back anywhere, write paid to the order of the United States of America, U.S. Treasury, without recourse. Again, write your upper and lowercase signature with the copyright symbol and date it. Next comes Form 56. So it seems like I'm reading the same thing over again, but you're assigning the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, and then this part is assigning your straw man fiduciary. So it seems like you're doing things redundant, but you're doing it this way because like you got to do it to multiple different people and make it it just basically has to be done this way. So you're going to be filling out and sending a lot of stuff pretty much, but got to do the Form 56 process over again. Let's see, on the back of part 3, okay, because Form 56, what I'm reading is, I'll just go ahead and read it because I just didn't want to sound redundant. I'm trying to just skip over some of this stuff, but we may miss something, so let me just read it. The Form 56 is very simple. The name of the person is the name on the BC, which you are returning to the Treasury. The name of the fiduciary is the Secretary of the Treasury in Washington, D.C. So on Section A of the Form 56, where it says Public Commercial Trust Administration, you want to put other, I believe is what it's saying. It says check A, B, and H and other, and just say all forms that may be necessary. And then on the back of this Section B, Part 2, 6C, you want to put other, surrender of federal person in all capital to the U.S. Treasury. Okay, on the back of Part 3, you want to put court and administrative proceedings. Enter the name and address of the agency issuing BC. The date proceeding initiated will be the file date, which is never your birthday, but a few days or weeks later. The docket number will be the state file number on the BC. The time will be the time you were actually born, and the place of other proceedings will be the U.S. On the back, which is Part 5, so we're moving to Part 5 now. Not Part 5, Part 4, you need your signature. You write the words by, and then your signature in upper and lower case, authorized, and then you also write authorized representative, and then you date it. Underneath the signature is a blank space. You handwrite it. What you handwrite is, I wish to be identified against claims or losses under the sovereign USA private registered indemnity bond with the bond number. So number 5, you create your cover letter to accompany your documents and provide instructions. Please see cover letter template below. Address your large manila folder or envelope. A 9x12 is what it's saying you need for an envelope. Then you make copies on everything, including your registered mail receipt, and put them in a file in a safe place. Take your cover letter. Number 7, take your cover letter, your birth certificate, your certified birth certificate, and Form 56 and put everything in the addressed manila envelope. Go to the post office and fill out the registered mail form to send your documents registered mail. Be sure to make a copy of your registered mail form and keep the copy and the original in your file in a safe place. Number 9, celebrate one more step to correcting your political status. Okay, so again, most of this stuff Mother Martin has already put in the chat. So there's actual links like with these instructions from this book. So you can check that out. It's in the Telegram chat. Anybody have any questions or want to say anything before I continue on? Anybody want to pick up on the reading?
It's our mother. I could pick up on the reading. I'm sorry. I was just looking up who is currently the Secretary of the Treasury, and
Yeah.
her name is Janet Yellen.
Janet Yellen. I thought it was a woman. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, she's the first woman, and it's still 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Okay, thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so that's the reading. So I can pick up reading. Are we at Anatomy of a Birth Certificate?
Yes.
Okay. And then yesterday, because I was in study mode this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and what I came across is a lot of people saying, "Oh no, your birth certificate is not, it's not a treasury bond." It is, because it's since you were born, it was bought and sold on a stock market
Right.
since your birth, and people have been making money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a negotiable instrument, or else they would not be able to make money off the certificate. And that's the whole reason why they, that's the whole reason why. So if anybody tells you that it's not, they're not being honest, because that's the reason why it's written on bond paper. And if you look at the paper, again, it has that blue and red, blue and red fibers in it. And that's basically the same paper that they used to make, the Federal Reserve notes. So it's a good news.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
when they tell you, it's
Yeah, bond.
same paper.
Thank you for that, Mother.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Excuse me, I have allergies. So, Anatomy of a Birth Certificate. 1690. Anatomy of a Birth Certificate and what it means. And she's got a link there underneath if you can look it up. And it says, take a look at the birth certificate issued in your name. What is the first thing you know? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. It's on funny paper, hard surface, durable, heavy paper called bond paper. This is your first clue that your state has been seized upon, and that bond, that is promissory notes, have been issued against your name. Next thing that will probably catch our eye is that there are all sorts of seals and valvons and watermarks on this piece of paper. It carries all sorts of emblems from a state organization, depending on where and when you were born. We know from our study of the history that these organizations are all foreign with respect to us, as our own American state of state organizations and have been mothballed since the Civil War. Look at the birth certificate issued in your name. It will show either a territorial state of state with its name in upper and lower case like this, state of Washington, upper and lower, or a municipal state of state with all capital letters. All these seals and watermarks and other gewgaws, serve to identify the issuer of the birth certificate, which is a foreign state of state organization, not you. They are identifying your all-cap name as property belonging to them, which they are issuing bonds against. The next thing you will most likely notice is that your name is spelled out in all capital letters, and that, most likely, other words appear in all capital letters as well. According to the Bar Association Manual and the Government Printing Office and the Federal Bureau of Engraving and Black Law Dictionary and the Chicago Manual of Style, the only things that can be named using all capital letters are 1, corporations, or 2, dead men's estates. The all capital names are a form of Latin called dog Latin. So look at your name as it appears in all capital letters on that birth certificate. They are issuing bonds against a dead man's estate, or are they issuing bonds against a dead man's estate or against a corporation? If your name appears like this, John Allen Doe, in all capital letters, the bonds have been issued against your estate on the presumption that you donated it to the state of state or state of state in all capital letters, the organization. If your name appears like this, John A. Doe, the bonds have been issued, in all caps, the bonds have been issued against a public transmitting utility franchise on the presumption that you donated that to the state of state or state of state, all caps, organization. In either case, obviously, as far as you know, you didn't donate anything to any of these yahoos, and you are not aware of having given them permission to bond your estate or any public transmitting utility either. It all sounds so bizarre, doesn't it? But there is the evidence in your hand. Now, who is the birth certificate bond signed by? The registrar. The registrar is an officer of the probate court. The appearance of their signature on your birth certificate is absolute proof that your property, whether your estate in all caps or your public transmitting utility in all caps, have been probated and seized upon as property belonging to the state of state or state of state in all caps that issues the birth certificate. Now look at the dates on the face of the birth certificate. You will see that your actual birth date and also a file date. The birth date, Now look at the dates on the face of the birth certificate. You'll see that your actual birth date and also a file date, the quote unquote birth date. These refer to the actual events of your birth, and then some days or weeks later, the filing, quote unquote, of the paperwork to either 1, pronounce you as the human dead and create your estate in all caps, or 2, to create your public transmitting utility. Either way, you arrive first and have first right to recall and ownership, known as a revisionary trust interest in your own good name and assets. After all, you are being misrepresented as the donor, quote unquote, of all these assets, and the state of state is claiming to be the beneficiary of your legacy. Having discovered this mistake made by your mother when you were just a baby in your cradle, you have a right to come forward and correct it upon discovery. What else does the birth certificate represent? It is evidence of crimes against you and fraud and non-disclosure against your mother. It is evidence of attempting to contact with and establish unconscionable contact with an infant. An unconscionable contact is a contact that you literally were not aware of. And how could a little baby be aware of a contact made for him or her when he was only a few days old by a new mother who was never given full disclosure about those papers she was signing at the hospital? She couldn't explain to you what she was never given to understand herself. The birth certificate is potent evidence of crime. Now, what are you going to do with it and about it? The first thing you're going to do is secure two witnesses' testimonies from people who have reasonable first-hand knowledge of you and your family, who can affirm that you are the living man or woman whose birth occurred at such and such a time and place, and to your parents, etc. This establishes the fact that you are presumed. This is to establish that the fact that you are the presumed quote unquote donor of the property referenced by the birth certificate, and also establishes your standing to sue these criminals. Next, if you follow our advice, you will complete the paperwork and return your trade name, also known as your good name and given name, John Allen Doe in upper and lower case, to the land and soil jurisdiction of your birth state. This process explicitly demonstrates and recording of the action proves that you, the presumed donor, are acting as a lawful person, not a legal person. And there is a difference. Lawful means the natural person. This puts you outside of their jurisdiction so they can no longer presume anything about you. Next, having secured your trade name and having permanent domicile in having to secure your trade name and having permanently domiciled it on the land and soil jurisdiction state, you will expatriate from any presumed political status as a territorial citizen, like someone born in Puerto Rico, or municipal citizen, created in the municipality of Washington, D.C., for example. And you will revoke all prior powers of attorney and name your lawful person, John Allen Doe, in upper and lower case, in this example, as the only attorney in fact authorized to do business for you and your state. Excuse me. Finally, you will seize upon all the other assumed names and names that are or could be associated with you in any regard, and all their variations and presumptions and orderings and styles. And you will use a recorded certificate of assumed names to claim them and permanently domicile all of them on the land and soil of your state of the Union State. This last is a process like red flagging a ship instead of sailing. Under the auspice of the British territorial government or municipal government of Washington, D.C., you are now demonstrably sailing under the auspice of Maine or California or whatever actual land or soil jurisdiction state. This also puts your good name and all the derivative names under the public law, so that you are no longer subject to the codes and statutory laws and public policies of the foreign state of state or state of state in all caps organizations. In sum total, at the end of the process, you have one, damning conclusive evidence of their wrongdoing against the baby. Two, proof of your ownership of your name and your standing. Three, proof of your political status. Four, proof that you are the only authorized power of attorney. Five, proof that any vessels, quote unquote, related to you stand under the public law and are not subjected to any presumption or interpretation otherwise. You still have to learn how to use these documents in your defense and be able to describe this whole circumstance, but taken together, they form a competent rebuttal and evidence trial, removing you from any U.S. citizenship status and returning you to your rightful status as an American state national. Again, why is all this necessary? Because their identity has been stolen. The birth certificate you're holding in hand is irrefutable evidence of the fact. You were deliberately misidentified as a baby as either a United States citizen, which is territorial, or citizens of the United States, which is municipal. And unless you abuse the evidence, you will be claimed as chattel, belonging as a property asset to one of these foreign commercial crime syndicates. For additional insight, I recommend the YouTube videos of Jordan Maxwell and any and all lectures regarding the Justinian deception, use of dog Latin by Romley Stewart. Time is of the essence and numbers count. These crime syndicates know that they have been discovered and that their system has been deconstructed so that they either make amends or are destroyed by liquidation or worse. And then to please don't effort, correct the record, do it yourself, help. Go to the American Estate Assembly.net /correct your status. Or Article 928 on my website, and then VonReed.com. Once you have fully corrected your political status, go to your new sign-in services, and then it's the signinamerica.com. Sign in America is an organizational tool that helps us identify and, as much as possible, pre-qualify Americans who have corrected their political status to receive credit vouchers to offset the debts of the straw man and entities created in their name. Okay, and then there's that.
Okay. So something that stood out to me, I was doing a little research myself yesterday, in the past couple of days actually, was the where it says in a sum total at the end of this process, you have damning conclusive evidence of their wrongdoing against a baby, proof of your ownership of your name, proof of your political status, and then proof that you are the only authorized power of attorney. So we definitely have to have power of attorney over our estate, because especially when we're trying to do things in commerce. That's one of the things that I learned yesterday, that you have to have the power of attorney, a dual power of attorney over your estate. Because you're acting as you're acting in two positions. So you have to specify that on paper with the power of attorney form. So I'm still learning about that, but you can look up dual power of attorney in your state, and read the laws in regards to that. Because that's currently what I'm in the process of doing, just going over those laws about the power of attorney. So continuing on with the reading, it talks about page 32, birth certificate witness testimony. Witness testimony in the form of an affidavit. BC witnesses. I am getting a lot of questions, especially from older readers whose parents have died and who have fewer and fewer direct witnesses to their birth and identity. It gets harder as you get older to be able to find such witnesses. But if we scratch our heads a bit, there are usually plenty of people who have cause to know who we are and where we come from and know our family ties. Anyone who has known you a significant period of time, 7 years or more, and who knows your family and background may serve as witnesses. That may include family members, friends, including friends from school, religious officials, co-workers, employers, public officials, such as sheriffs, librarians, etc. Because today's world works on photo identifications, you will need a small color or black. You will need a small color or black and white photo of yourself copied onto the paper that your witnesses will sign. I am providing a fictitious example of the verbiage for a typical BC witness testimony below. Remember, living people cannot give affidavits, only testimony in the form of an affidavit. So if you are not acting as a corporation or a corporate officer, Never label anything you submit for any court or public record an affidavit, witness testimony in affidavit form. 1. I, Joan Felicity Adams, a living woman now living at 345 Howe Street, Lampasas, Texas, have firsthand knowledge that Joseph Allen Bates, whose photograph appears hereon and who now lives in Akron, Ohio, is the man who was born on July 1st, 1949 in Coppertown, Michigan, and from without the United States and under the penalties of perjury under the public law of the United States of America, I do affirm this to be true. This witness testimony is granted freely without coercion or payment of any kind. And so I say, or so say I, to all facts above, this day of, in the year of, and I have affixed my signature in affirmation of these facts before these witnesses. And you sign it, put your signature. Next to your signature, you're going to put LS Witness of Public Notary to signature, Lampasas County, Texas, or, you know, whatever your state and city. Let's see here. Oh, peace, Cecilia, welcome. Glad to have you here. We are reading Correct Your Political Status by David Robinson. So I don't know if you have that book, but we're on page 34 and glad to have you here. So I'm going to continue reading. Islam.
I also wanted to make a note, like for when they sign their name by, where it says Joan Felicity Adams, like when they sign their name, I noticed that little copyright C.
Oh yeah, your copyright signature, yeah. The copyright symbol.
With the circle around it, yeah. So they know that you are the natural man and woman, like blood natural man and woman, in your name is copyright.
Right. So it says, today I was visited by Joan Felicity Adams and she did present appropriate identification and she did provide this testimony in the form of an affidavit freely and without coercion before me. And she did also freely sign this testimony without coercion in my presence this day of in witness where of my hand and seal appear. Then you put your signature, public notary, and this is where the notary will sign. It says, obviously, in the cases of women who have married and changed their names, you will need to add reference to the birth name, something to the effect, quote, I have firsthand knowledge that Betty Jo Boop, now living in Santa Monica, California, was born Betty Jo Mellencamp in Cooperstown, Michigan on July 1st, 1950, end quote. Please also note that it is okay for witnesses to come from other places than where you now live. An old high school pal may live in West Virginia and you may live in Los Angeles. Where was I at? The only difficulty is that when you talk to them and ask them to do this favor, you will need to ask the name of the county where they will get the notary done so that you can complete the notary information correctly. New helpful forms and examples. So mother will be putting that in the link. That link in the chat, the Telegram chat for us. So it says there are basically two kinds of records people need to have to prove and enforce their identity and standing, public and private. Birth certificates and BC witness statements are private documents. The BC for most people should never be recorded through the witness statements can and should be so long as the witnesses don't object. Whether you record the witness statement or not, it is more or less a personal choice. But bear in mind that once they are recorded, they can't be lost as easily as they can be lost in the house fire, flood, or other happenstance. I recently made an example of the BC witness testimony in the form of affidavit that can be motorized as an online form and redlined as the others have been for people to add their own information or simply post it as an example for people to follow in constructing their own document. So again, that link will be in the, well, it's not going to be a link because I think, like I said, these processes is actually online. So it's already in the Telegram chat. Mother put it in there the other day, Mother Martin. Well, I forwarded to the chat. So you guys definitely want to take a look at those particular links to get access to this information. It says witness testimony templates. Witness testimony in the form of an affidavit, man or single woman, download from internet site. Witness testimony in the form of an affidavit, married woman, download from the internet site. Lineage treaty, claim for the life. Example, claim for the life lineage treaty. A scanned copy of an actual record will be posted on my website, annavonritz.com. See links at the bottom which show the stamps, etc. But here is a text showing the kind of detail and verbiage needed to establish your claim to your inheritance as a natural person, aka living man or living woman, for the notice of claim, for the life lineage treaty. Date, you're going to put date, place, action, which is the claim and conveyance. You'll put claim and conveyance. And for presentment, you'll put to all parties. So it says, from the living soul, Anna Maria Reisinger, woman, principal, vessel, and manifest, Anna Maria Reisinger, living soul, priority creditor, paramount security interest holder as of June 6, 1956, holds the testament claim for the life of Anna Maria Reisinger for the public record with this claim of the fourth article of the 1666 Seste Cuvée Act, and and with this claim of the writs of habeas court, and does form this testimony or testament upon the public record of the States of the Union of the United States and the Alaska state. From the living woman, Anna Maria Reisinger, manifests this day alive and well, the living daughter of the Emmett Anthony Reisinger, father of the living woman, Anna Maria Reisinger, the Emmett Anthony Reisinger, father from the Peoria city of the Illinois land state, born August 14, 1921, with the Chicago city birthplace of the Illinois land state, is the son of John George Reisinger, grandfather of the living woman, Anna Maria Reisinger. From the paternal grandfather, John George Reisinger, of the living woman, Anna Maria Reisinger, born June 1st, 1879, from the Salzburg city of the nation of Austria, and from the paternal grandmother, Emma Elizabeth Helmick, born 1879, of the Spring Lake city of the Illinois land state. From the John George Reisinger, the paternal grandfather of the living woman, Anna Maria Reisinger, the son of the George Reisinger, great-grandfather of the living woman, Anna Maria Reisinger, the son of the mother-wife, Caroline Rothaus Reisinger, born November 2nd, 1840, from the Salzburg city, from the nation of Austria, and the father husband, Frank Heinrich Reisinger, born the year of 1855, from the nation of Austria. From the Emma Elizabeth Helmich, the paternal grandmother of the living woman Anna Maria Reisinger, the daughter of the William Helmich, born July 4th, 1850. So this is basically like giving a genealogy of your birth and your lineage. So I'm not gonna keep reading this because that's how it. I guess it's you can go back as far as you possibly can. Then you want to sign it. Next to your signature, you put living woman, and then put your right thumbprint, seal, stamp, and seal. So when you put your thumbprint in red ink, when it says to stamp and seal or to seal it, you seal your red thumbprint by putting your writing your signature through it in red as well, and also dating it. Okay. This record demonstrates my lineage claim to the land and soil of this country through numerous ancestors who were here before the Civil War and even before the Revolution. But even if you are not lucky enough to have a similar recitation, if you were born in this country or born to parents who were born in this country, or even to parents claiming to be American state nationals through their parents, or who are legal immigrants who finished the naturalization process to become a U.S. citizen and then went to adopt a permanent domicile in one of the states, you can do the same thing. Why? Because anyone born or naturalized into these land states is heir to their kingdom, free and clear. So we all know, I don't know how true this makes me wonder what is the actual nationality of the person that wrote this book, David Robinson. Now I know that lady Anna, she's Albion, but this is where the confusion is coming in with this book, you guys, and this information, because we all know that these people are not from here originally. So that leaves
the same thing, and I'm thinking in the woman, she's German, so
right.
I'm not sure how she was here before the Civil War. I mean,
Okay.
it's a possibility, but I'm like, okay.
So that just leads me back to, if you haven't, I put in the chat the other day, guys, but if you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend that you go watch Maurice L. when he was on there with Dr. G, and he was breaking down the U.S. treaty. He was breaking down the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between Morocco and the U.S. corporation, the United States. And I think this is where the confusion is lying at, because these people are confused and they try to confuse us. And I think they're overlooking that piece of treaty and friendship, because that is not being made clear. But if you watch that video, Maurice Lamar L broke it down simple as plain, along with the Constitution, and it shows that this land is actually Morocco. Whether we think it or we know it or not, or believe it or not, this is the land of Morocco. And that land that we call Morocco now, it wasn't established until 1954. And so we are the actual heirs to this land. I don't understand how they think they are, but I'm gonna keep reading the book, because some of the information that they're providing is coinciding with what we need to do. So, everything in this book we can't do per se, but it is like confirming a lot of things for me at the same time. Okay. And we'll put it all together eventually. I think I done lost my page.
Are they trying to confuse us, or are they
I think they are. Yeah.
continuing? They're getting themselves free because they realize they've been duped too, but they're still trying to run with what they have.
Yeah,
Right,
because
and
if
Is
we
that a proper assessment?
understand, there's still a fight. Like they're trying to fight for this land, but
Right.
they have no rights here. Period.
Right. Right.
right. And then for her to say, you know, I can go back and take my lineage way back when, I'm like, okay, says who? Because, you know, there were people here way before your people got here. So again, yeah, you kind of leave that certain group of people that are out because she knows the truth. And that's the reason why, you know, and she's saying, you know, she's born of this land. I'm like, no, no, you're not the original of this land. So,
Right.
you know, and because of what happened to us and us being, you know, on purposely, you know, families torn apart and families scattered, that's on, you know, purpose because then they say if we can't take our lineage back, um, then, you know, but I'm noticing how she went and traced hers all the way back. I'm like, notice it never says anything about Germany because she's German.
Right.
I'm like, okay, let's tell the truth and bring it down. Okay.
Okay. Let me just finish this page and then we can just chat for the remainder of the hour. So it says your claim for the life doesn't have to be long or ornate. It doesn't have to involve ancestors who lived in this country so long as you were born here or naturalized and then expatriated to an adopted state of the Union. Okay, so that makes sense. To those who are misleading everyone and telling them that they don't have to go through all this effort to rebut lies being told about them and record their counterclaims, there are a lot of crooks that hope you don't. Lots of corporations that don't want to pay back what they've stolen. Lots of politicians who don't want to own up to the facts. Lots of insurance underwriters and banks too. And if you don't record your claims because you were lazy or thought you didn't have to, the rats win. It's up to you. So, like I said, it's not that we're not going to do it, but we just want to make sure that we're doing it the right way and do it in a way that it applies to us being the natural heirs of this land. All right, so that concludes the reading for today. Did anyone have anything they wanted to say in regards to what we've read today, or any topics in particular you wanted to discuss?
You know, that language that you pointed out about the baby, you know, the crimes against the baby, etc. It made me think about the vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all those things that you read are applied
Right.
in that case as well.
Indeed. Everything they do, pretty much everything that they're doing is basically a crime, crimes against us. Mother Cecilia, if you go to freedomriders.org, oh, I have to put it in there differently. Hold on one second. If you go to freedomriders.org, you insert your information, which is just your name and email, and then that takes you to the Telegram chat. All right. You're welcome. Anybody else?
Islam mother.
Islam.
So
Hello?
over my
Oh,
my
sorry.
studies. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, mother.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking because you know, during my studies, you know, I came across one person who was saying that, you know, in order for us to put it more into perspective, we have to look at our straw man name as if it's, an LLC,
Right.
because it's all capital letters.
Right.
And that when we start looking at it in that way, and when they say you are, are you so and so, what they're saying is, are you this LLC? And then you're
Right.
like, no, I'm not. That's,
That's
no,
why
I'm not.
anytime you're approached in that manner, you're actually supposed to say like you're the representative, the authorized representative of them. You know what I'm saying? So if you're approached by, just say you're out and about, right? And someone wants to serve you with a summons or anything like that. And they say, this about, we have to really be careful, because if you say, oh yeah, they say, are you Shanae, for instance, my name, Shanae Harris. Are you Shanae Harris? You immediately just say, I'm the authorized representative of that person. You don't own
Does
up
that
to
stop them
or
from
say
serving you?
it. It can, because
Okay.
if you if you just say, well, yes, that's me, you're assenting to that, you are the straw man at that point. And there, you know what I'm saying? We are not the straw man. We're separate.
I
The
mean,
straw.
I wouldn't tell them anyway, but I'm just thinking if you say I'm the representative, because they can still serve a relative or someone that lives in your home. So I'm not
Mhm.
sure how that stops them from still serving you if you say you're a representative. Or are you just talking about it in terms of, that's how you're going to approach it as, however the legal process goes, you're going to approach it as the representative.
Yes, because even in court, you would do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You never want to say that that person is you. You just never want to
Right.
say that is you, because you
Right.
don't know who they talking about.
Right.
You just got to play dumb.
Mhm.
You just
Because
tell you
several
the
people could have, right. So several people could also have that name. And it's like, well, who are you looking
right.
for? Like,
Exactly.
my, name is a very common one. So I'm like, or if somebody calls and say, are you so and so? I'm like, who wants to know? Like, who's asking? I never say, yeah, that's me. I'm like, no, who wants to know, for what reason and why? Because you have to be the one asking questions. Because as we learned, if you ask, you are king. So
Right.
I go with the rapid fire questioning. Who wants to know? Why do you want to know? What's this in regards to? What is this for again? And I make them repeat themselves. Well, I need to know who you're talking to, and what do you need, and what is it for, and why. The who, what, where, when, and why. And by the time I'm done with my questions, they're like, okay, you know what? If you see her, I'm like, yeah, if I see her.
Right. That's another thing that I learned. You never
I check with
like,
her little
you
tail
always
behind. I
answer a
let her
question
know
with a question.
with a question. Yeah,
Right.
I tear them down with questions like, who is this? And
Mm.
why do you want to know? And what's it for? And what is it pertaining to? And how is this relevant? And what do you need it for? And I ask a whole lot of questions.
Because you know how when those this happened to me like last week too. Somebody, and I normally don't answer my phone unless I know who it is. But I probably was waiting for a phone call or something, so I just answered it this time. So I got caught. But they'll say, is this Shanae Harris? And I said, who is this? And then they just go into their spiel like, motherfucker, I just asked you, who the fuck are you? How you just gonna go into your spiel? We haven't established any type of, you don't know if I'm Shanae Harris or not yet, because I didn't say that I was, but you just still
And
going
then,
into your whole script.
right. And then not only that, that's a violation because they could be giving out, pertinent information to somebody that's not even, that's not even privy to that information,
Right.
so they just go into this field, not even verifying if it's you, and that's a violation in and of itself. Then I would start with the question. What is your name? What company do you work for? Can I have your number? What is this pertaining to? I didn't say it was me. Can I have your supervisor? Can I have your manager? I need to talk to somebody higher up. Who's your manager? Who's your, because I'm thinking if I didn't even tell you it's me, you still going into a spiel. And it's like, okay, well, that person that you just named might not want me to have that information. So now I need to speak to your supervisor. Who's your supervisor? Who's your manager? Who is your, I go in with more questions.
Right, absolutely.
Time to hang up. So then they know, I made a mistake because I didn't verify who this was. I'm like, no, you didn't. So I just go into questions, a lot of them.
I know that's right. Mother Cecilia, you had something you wanted to say?
I just want to say I appreciate. I know I came in late, and I'm sitting here. I got caught up doing something. I couldn't wait to get on the call, and so I do apologize for being late. I'll be more attentive on time next time.
It's okay.
And I just want to say I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and join the Telegram channel and go ahead and get some of this knowledge and information that you guys have. And I appreciate you very much.
Oh, we thank you for being here. We appreciate you as well. So, another thing that I wanted to add in regards, what I wanted to say is we're all trying to get what I'm not gonna say we, because that don't include me. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm doing things the proper and right way. And I kind of feel like I know what I need to do at this point. Speaking in regards to that video with from House of Reawakening Minds with Brother Lamont L the other day that he did, just breaking down the treaties, breaking down the Constitution. We need a consular court, you guys. And many of our people are trying to get around doing the Moorship thing or whatever, but if you read the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, if you read the Constitution, the consular court that is provided on enforce the Constitution. I was going through some of their documents, some of the case filings that have already been won, that they've been performing. In the consular court is what's going to help enforce the Constitution and that treaty that was signed back in 1836. So there's no way to get around it. People don't want to be a Moor because, there's dirty Moors and all of that. At the end of the day, we're going to have a consular court. The consular court can actually go and fight for all of your rights. I was reading some of the habeas corpus files, let me just pull it up. Where's the Constitution? So they have a lot of stuff. They have foreclosure cases on here, traffic cases that they've won, custody cases that they've won, and all of that. So it's like there's no way of really getting around it. And this is where the division is coming in with our people, because they just don't want us. Like, I don't understand. The meaning of more has more than one meaning. And I think people are confused with the M-O-O-R, and the M-U-U-R. We are Moors, and Moors has like I said, has a lot of different meanings. And one of the meanings is of the land, is dirt. And that's what we are, copper colored people of the land. So it's like, where's the confusion at? And why don't people just want to fall in line? There's a consular court set up here for us. Like, all we got to do is do what we need, come together and unify under the consular court that's already been established, and everything else will fall into place. Noble Drew Ali has already set it up. So I'm trying to figure out where's the confusion coming from with everyone, and why there's still division between our people, when all we got to do is fall in line.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They have, like I said, court cases that they've actually, in recent court cases, one lady just got her house back from the foreclosure process that they did. And I was reading, the counselor actually was able to get paid, or, you know what I'm saying, for his time and efforts all through these proceedings. I was reading, he got paid $20,000. The counselor court got paid $20,000 through all of these proceedings, but it didn't come out of this woman's pocket. It came from the let me pull it up. Let's see here. A lot of the fighting that we're doing, we're trying to do by ourselves, and all we got to do is go where the help is already at. Stop trying to do things separately from everyone.
Mother, where are you? What's this website?
This is enforcetheconstitution.com. I mean .org.
I put it in the chat, Mother.
Thank you,
Of course, you're on point. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rocco. I'm trying to find that document that was showing like the finance breakdown of how they completed all of this. Let me see here. Rick Cole warrant. So this might be it right here. Yeah, I don't have a PDF. Okay, here it goes right here. So she got all of her money back from the proceedings of that foreclosure. Then they charged conspiracy against rights, fraud, and inducement. You see all of these charges: counselor assistance, miscellaneous. All of that was paid to her. Was paid to through this proceeding. $972,000 paid for unlawful money. And they actually said that the case got thrown out, you guys. And the lady got her house back.
Does lawful money mean they paid her in gold and silver?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, this stuff is already, everything has already been established. People just need to fall in line. All this division needs to stop between our people, seriously, because it's all right here. You have a consular court that's going to go and fight for you, but you first have to declare your nationality here. So I've already started my paperwork. I got to print it out and put it on record. Then they have consultation and training. They have fraudulent lien case. They have everything here. The consular court will fight for you, where you don't have to be fighting for yourself, whatever. No, this stuff is not free. So, you know, nothing is free. It's going to cost us. So, gotta have some money. So that's why we are trying to build the wealth and utilize these opportunities to accumulate our assets and also increase our cash flow, you know, with these opportunities. So, you know, we just got to put in the work, you guys. I just want to show you all that I've made my decision that this is who I'm going with. At first, I told you guys I was going to go with, and I believe they're all under the same people, but I just want to go with Maurice L. because I just feel more, I've just been feeling more confident in that. But I was telling you all before about the Moorish National Republic. So I showed you this before. Pretty much all the same information, but I'm deciding to go with this consular court. So, and my husband feels very confident in that as well, because this year has definitely been a trying year, trying to find solid people to relay this information and give us the right information, and not have us caught up in still with that United States 14th Amendment citizen bull crap. Because a lot of the temples are still under their jurisdiction, and they are keeping our people in slavery. So you got to just be careful of the temples that you go to, the Moorish science temples, because a lot of them are, like Noble Drew Ali said, everybody that look like us ain't us. And a lot of and he also said the people that look like you are going to be the ones that put you back in slavery. So you just got to be careful, use your own discernment, and follow your heart. And that's why I've been feeling pressured a little bit, like I'm procrastinating, but I'm not, because I already got a nationality ID card, but I haven't put none of that paperwork on record. I haven't signed it or anything. When I did it, I just wasn't confident about it. So, I'm still just taking my time, and now I'm feeling more confident in what I'm doing. And so this is who I'm going with. So you guys can decide what you want to do, but I really, really feel like with all the information that the universe has been sending my way, and confirmations from some of you, Mother Maria, and there's another young lady I was speaking with yesterday, and she agreed with me in regards to this consular court situation, because she was saying that she actually has family members that are in the Secret Service and stuff like that. And some of the things that people have been telling us to do as far as remittance slips and all of this processes, is fraud. So I don't necessarily think it's fraud, but we just don't have the proper full way to do it yet. And it's supposed to be done through your banking. So that's why we were learning about the banking and legal laws now. Because you can actually get some of your remedies. You can get some of your remedies provided without even correcting your status and stuff like that. You already have a status, so you just gotta have power of attorney over that particular entity. So that's what we discussed earlier in the book. It was talking about the power of attorney. So that's another confirmation for me. So your remedies can be started and get done now, but you still need to nationalize. And that's gonna just protect you from the U.S. corporation. So, with that being said, any other discussions, any other topics you guys want to talk about before we get off of here?
Islam, Mother.
Islam.
Like this weekend, that's what I was studying, over like the whole financial part, the banking system part, because I mean, there's a lot of people, I think, because of the times that we're living in, and, with people, losing their jobs because of not taking, the jabs, and, and, facing foreclosure, facing evictions, facing all these other things, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I mean, and I see that a lot of these, you know, uh, things talk about, correcting your political status, which is great. But then it's like, okay, but what if you're not involved in any court cases right now? What if you're not, And to
Right.
me, the most pressing thing right now for everybody is the financial part, you
Right.
know. And it seems like that's where all the kabuki theater starts.
It
What I'm
is. I
finding.
mean, because
That's
if you
I'm
think
finding, like, when it comes to money, all of a sudden it's like, well, no, you should do it this way. No, you should do it this way. No, you should do it this way. And again, one mother said there a long time ago, if it only works for one but not the other, it's not a real remedy.
right, absolutely, I agree. I
And
agree with
right, so that's what I've been, really delving into this, because
mm-hmm.
I know within the next upcoming months, our people are going to need this information. They really are.
Facts.
And that's where I'm really at a point where I'm like, okay, let me, study, what contract means, and let's see, and the banks are a big part of this. So that's what I'm studying on, how to get them to do the right thing, because
Right.
they're all a part of this too. And again, as soon as they have our social security number on file at the bank, okay, so then they're in on it too, because they got our birthday and our social security number. So it's like, okay, so, especially with me learning that, like, if we put $1,000 in the bank, they are able to use their, TPNL system and withdraw 10 times that amount. They'll give
Right,
us our
hypothecate the
1,000,
number, right,
right? But then they'll take the other 9 and they use that other 9 from us, and that's how they generate loans for
right,
themselves, and
right,
that's what they loan out from us. So, so I'm in the process now of learning how, to get them to do the right thing. So,
right, thanks.
mm,
Well, from what I'm learning, man, we are on the same wavelength, mother. We're on the same frequency. I feel when you sign your contracts, any contracts that you're signing, automatically you're supposed to also endorse it at the same time, to where you make it payable to the U.S. Treasury, or you make it payable to the financer of the bank that finance your money. And another thing that I learned, like when we go and apply for credit and stuff like that, or you apply for a consumer credit, they're not supposed to be really pulling credit reports and basing your approval, because everyone is supposed to get approved. So when we go into these institutions and we go to apply for credit and they tell us, oh, you got denied for credit and stuff like that, it's actually a form of them discriminating against you, whether you're black or white. They're redlining us because we already have credit. So they just gotta go and approve it. And once you get it approved, then you do your dealings with the actual CEO of the company, because they're the ones that know what's really going down. You do your dealings with them, enforcing that promissory note, enforcing the promissory note to be paid, or to be you don't really want to say paid, but at the end of the day, to be paid. I'm trying to remember the legal term, but like I said, a lot of what we've been taught how to operate in commerce is wrong. We've been taught things absolutely wrong. So this is all a part of the process of unlearning to relearn, so we can walk in our higher power. Anyone else?
We almost have to like document all these discrepancies, because I think that's a lot of the reason. Because even I was introduced to, you know, the whole claim as a Moorish American some years ago. But I
Mm-hmm.
saw so many shenanigans. I was just like, what the hell? And it came back to me like 2 years ago, and I started to pay more attention to it. But I think that's part of the problem. I mean, out here in LA, there was like 4 Moorish temples out here, and all 3 of them closed. I think there's just one still standing. 3 closed in one summer completely. And
Wow.
I don't know if it's because, well, somebody told me that nobody was giving the same consistent information between
Right.
them. And these are temples that were within a 10-mile radius of each other,
That's how they just became like the church, religious. They have a lot of them have 501(c)(3)s, and they're selling our people out. Period.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. And that book I was telling you guys about last week, Sign in America,
Mm-hmm.
mine, from the same author. I was just roaming through it, and I see on page 16, it says, we have state land trusts that are ours, in
Right.
which they do not have any business administering. So I'm like, oh, this is some BS. So we really do have to sort out what the hell.
Right. Facts.
It's not written for us for sure.
Right.
Excuse
I
me, what
agree
book
with
is that? What book is he? I'm sorry, what book is that? I'm sorry,
Sure,
mother.
this is another book by the same author that wrote the one we're reading, The Correct Your
Mhm.
Political Status, by David Robinson. And this particular book is called Sign in America, and it's regarding national debt relief.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, mothers. And I apologize for cutting in.
Oh no,
No
you're
worries.
fine. This is the book here by David E. Robinson.
Mhm.
So
You know, Mother, I didn't even realize I was like going in and trying to straighten up all my books. And I didn't realize that I had a lot of books by David E. Robinson. And the first
mhm,
book that I got was from him was Nessera 1 and Nessera and Desara 1 and 2.
mhm,
And I was like, why does his name sound familiar? You know, so when we started getting into all of these things, and then when I looked, I was like, oh my God, he also wrote Nessera Gesera. So okay, and I think he also wrote Changes on the Horizon as well.
yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of funny that I didn't know that he wrote all of these books when I started reading them.
He has a quite a big arsenal.
Yeah, and yep, that is, yep, yep,
Mhm,
that's the one I have as well. And you know, it's very he goes into a lot of stuff about what's going on, what's taking place today, what's happening and what's going to be the end result.
mhm,
And you know, and I think that, you know, he realizes because of what's going on that people do need to release. So I think I want to go get that book signed in America and take a look at that and you know, and considering because it's so tricky when it comes to banking, you know, and the banks, and we know that their involvement, you know, of how to get them to, again, do the right thing instead of making us seem like, you know, we're the criminals and we're the fraudsters. It's like, no, we're not. You know, fraud was committed against us, and we want to make things right. You know, and you know, because our birthrights were stolen, you know, but they also know that if all of us catch on, it literally could collapse the system. So, you know, and even if, you know, it gets to a point where we're able to access, at least have access to it, you know, it would relieve a lot of people, but that's what these evil cabals don't want. They don't want us to get any relief. They want us stressed and, you know, and upset because they feed off that energy, you know. And it's like, no, we're going to figure this out. We're not even going to give it to them. So we're going to figure this out. Hello, Mother, are you still there?
dang, I'm just talking. I didn't even know I was muted. I
Oh,
forgot I muted myself.
I'm like, hello, Mother?
My apologies.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, so,
So no, I
yeah,
was just saying I definitely agree with you. And we definitely gonna figure it out. We know we all putting our heads together. It's other people that's doing the same thing. And may, you know, hopefully they'll come on board or whatever. But you know, with that being said, did anybody I wanted to say welcome, Mother Flora. Welcome. Glad you're in the building today. Did anyone have any updates on Belize or any information that you would like to share that you found?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Greetings, greetings. I'm happy to be here. I wasn't able to. I was thinking. I don't have power right now.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I'm glad I'm able to log in through my my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So until the battery runs out,
Oh,
hopefully the power will come back. You know, soon.
you got to get yourself a
you guys
generator,
have an
Mother.
outage?
Yeah, that's why I need my generator ASAP.
Right, right.
The
Yes, you got
building
to.
next to me has one.
Mm-hmm.
And There's another apartment building close to me here. They have one, but the one I'm in doesn't. Don't know why. I need to get myself to the ones that have a generator or get my own.
So you guys have an outage or something out there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It went out earlier this early morning. Yeah.
Okay, well, I hope they get that back up and running for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's not so bad because it's nice and sunny. I just came back. Well, I came back a few minutes ago from my daily walk by the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, I'm sorry, Mother. I don't mean to cut you off. This is what I learned. Like, so on the site that I was going on to, when I looked at Belize, which I thought was kind of interesting. So when I was going into the travel, the travel part of what's required to get into and out of, the country,
Mm-hmm.
they were saying that they require testing, but they didn't mention anything about the passport, the V passport. So I just kept on looking. I'm like, okay, surely they want to see that. And no, so they just was saying that like a couple of days before you leave to have the testing, and you don't have to have them stick anything up your nose. You just spit a couple of days to test that.
Is that for coming to Belize?
Yes, and coming
Yeah.
back into the United States as well.
Yeah,
So
Belize.
as long as you got-
Belize. Yes. So yeah, go on. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Well, so far, this is what I was seeing
Requirements for
that's
getting in and out.
required. So they didn't really even mention the V passport. So I guess, I don't know, maybe they caught on to the fact that even if you got the jab, you could still get it. So they weren't that concerned with the passport, which I thought was kind of interesting. They just wanted to know, like, 48 to 72 hours before you do the travel, that you have to have a negative test. That's what I found out
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah, because Belize health minister is not enforcing. Well, one of them anyway. I can't remember the ones. They're not enforcing. Well, they're trying to get as many people to get the jab as possible, but it's not going to be mandatory for everybody.
Okay.
That's the stand for the because I was talking to somebody and she was saying that she was saying that the minister, I don't know whether it's the minister for health or the other way around, anyway, says that they're not going to make it mandatory for Belizeans to have the jab. But trust me, every time I hear on the radio, they are always encouraging people to take the jab. And I know a lot of Belizeans have taken them already. Because in some employers, a lot of the employers make their, they want the employees to take the jab. Otherwise, they can't come into the workplace. So I guess for that, some of them will we go get it. Plus that not a lot of Belizeans are aware of what's going on. Some, because I've heard some people talk about this, that this is just bullshit, what they're trying to get people to do. There are some who know what's going on, and there are some who just comply with anything the government says.
Right.
Like here.
Yeah, because I was walking about a couple of weeks ago. I don't wear mask when I go. I don't wear mask. And then on my way back, the police, there's this young policeman in his, driving, stopped and was questioning me why I'm not wearing my mask. And I told him, I don't wear mask because it's not healthy for me. And then he said, well, you have to wear your mask is the law. I said, no, it's not the law. I said, mandates, policies, regulations, they're not law. And then he kept on saying it's the law. I said, no, it's not law. And I said, how is it that you're breathing in carbon dioxide, healthy for you? I said, I am responsible for my health, not the government.
Right.
Because if anything happens to me, is the government going to do anything about it? No. I said, I'm responsible for my health. Well, he said, are you Belizean? I said, that's not the point. No, I'm not Belizean. But the fact of the matter is, it is not healthy. And I'm not going to, get myself to the point whereby, because I'm complying with government mandates, I get myself sick, And then he said, well, if I give you a ticket, then you can go and say that in court. I say, it really doesn't matter what you do. I said, I stand by what my principles are. And then he said, well, will it be fair if you don't, you wear it next time, so that when I come around here next time, I don't see you, I see you with your mask on. He said, will it be fair if I let you go this time, but next time you wear your mask?
Wow.
I just looked at him. I thought to myself, he doesn't know what he doesn't know who he's dealing with. I don't give a damn about what, I would, it doesn't really matter to me. I say, whether you give me a ticket or not. First of all, I don't belong to the court. I would probably not even show up in court.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Mother Flora, did you say you were a Taurus?
no, I didn't tell him I'm a tourist.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, I was gonna say that
He was
sounds familiar.
he was
but
asking
okay.
me if I was Belizean, and I said I'm Canadian. And then because he doesn't, you see, the thing is, Belizean will not argue with the police, right? They will just they'll be afraid, because many people see me not wearing my mask, and they call me and say, Miss, where's your mask? I just tell them to mind their own damn business. That's what I tell them. I say, mind their own damn business.
Exactly.
No, that's right.
You tell the mother.
I will just continue walking, because when they're saying, Miss, I'm thinking maybe somebody that knows me or something. Then I turn back and I say, Miss, you're not wearing your mask. I just keep walking. So when anybody say miss, I don't even bother to look back or check who's trying to call me. I'm just walking, because I'm saying to myself, it's probably another person trying to tell me I'm not wearing my mask.
Wow.
Oh,
Honest.
mother, I said a Taurus, as in the astrological sign, not a tourist.
Oh, yes, I am a Taurus. Yes.
Oh.
There we go. Okay. That was in another conversation, not this one.
Okay.
Mother Maria, my husband said, what are you?
I'm a Taurus.
Oh, you're a Taurus too? Okay.
Yeah.
Taurus, the bull.
I was completely resonating with what she was saying and the way
We
she
don't
said it.
take shit. That's what it is. We don't take shit from people.
Right.
Because I've had to deal with that, because again, New York is very split. And then you get some people, it's like, where's your mask? I'm like, where's yours? I'm like, you need to have a mask. I'm like, says who? Says the government. I'm like, if you don't get out of my face with that, I'm like, you're gonna sit there and take orders from a man whose cognitive disability is so obvious that the man needs to be in a nursing home with a sippy cup. And
You tell them next time you are the government. You are
Right,
the
that
government.
part.
Yeah.
Well, right, but then we're talking to people who are let's face it, they're sheep, so they're not going to get that, and I'm like, if you don't get out of my face with that noise, just go somewhere. I'm like, we are not doing this. Bye. Bye. It's like, don't talk to me. I don't even want you in my face. And I live around a bunch of Albions. I'm like, yeah, you need to stay 6 feet away, because I don't even want you near me. So shut to the up.
Absolutely. I just want
Mhm.
to ask you all to keep my Mother Cecilia says she's a Taurus as well. Wow. But I want to say keep my family lifted up in your thoughts, please. I just had a death in my family. My
Oh, sorry to hear that, Missy.
my father's cousin who went in the hospital. Um, they say he had COVID and they put him on a respirator, and a couple of days later he was gone. So then I have two cousins that are my first cousins. Well, my first cousin, him and his son are in the hospital, and I've heard that they're on respirators too. So it's like, what to expect? My Uncle John's son.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that,
Is
mother.
the
And then
respirator is what is killing our
I know,
people.
but we
Right.
can't tell them anything. So it's just like, what do I expect from him?
Well, the
because a
thing
lot of
is,
people being
the
put on those
important
is
thing
going
for
out
our
their
people
lives.
is not to get themselves to the hospital.
Right.
You
Mm-hmm.
Right.
know, if they can stay home and take whatever they need to take to cure themselves, even if it's COVID, people do get out of it.
Right. Right.
But don't end up in hospital, because hospital is where they're going to kill you off.
Absolutely. Because I'm gonna
And we've
tell
been going
you,
the whole year, so it's like you would think that by now people would know what the plan is, because if they could put you on a respirator, the doctors are getting like $30,000 just to
mm-hmm.
put you on
Exactly.
the respirator.
Yeah.
So three family members, that's $90,000 right there.
Right.
It's funny that you mentioned that, mother, because a couple of years ago, I don't know if you know, a lot of hospitals, if a person was close to dying, they would try to, I know with like burn patients or whatever,
Mhm.
they would move them to another hospital because, they didn't want that death on their records that,
Mm,
it pertained to the hospital. But now all of a sudden, it's like they're welcoming people to come in.
mm.
So, so
Because
they
they
can
get,
die so they can get paid, which is
yeah.
crazy. It's just
And I
crazy.
hate to say all the things that they do because off of our people, and it's not just the respirator, because then when they pass, you almost got to start checking their bodies now, because
So
we
they taking
know
their organs and stuff.
exactly.
Mhm.
So they're getting paid in more ways than one. Just off. I mean, we literally are worth our weight in gold. So at this point, our ancestors, when they got sick, they would do things to heal themselves. You never saw them run into, at the time, there was no hospital, so you stayed home and the community took care of you, you
And they
know?
made you sweat it out. Yeah,
Yeah,
Literally,
exactly.
sweat it
In
out.
literally,
fact, nowadays,
literally.
nobody should have anything to do with hospitals unless you need to have a surgery done. Even with
Because
that, unless you have like an accident or something needed or something is out of place, otherwise there's nothing you're doing in hospital. Whatever sickness you have, it can be healed naturally. You just have to
Absolutely.
be, it
right,
I'm
just
gonna
takes
tell you,
time.
last month my whole house was around here coughing and coughing up stuff, and I went and whipped up some sea moss, some elderberry. I got my
right,
teas and everything, and
right.
everybody,
Easy
all that
thinking.
coughing
Yeah.
is gone.
My grandmother lived until 94 and never went to a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Never went to a hospital because she just didn't trust them. And most people, especially our people, don't know that the whole hospital system was invented by the Rothschilds. These are
Right.
the
Yeah.
same people who want to genocide everybody, you know? So that's telling in the whole, American Medical Association and pharma, all of them, Rothschilds and Rockefellers. So it's like, come on, people. And then a lot of these people who are putting people on ventilators are not respiratory therapists or
Right.
pulmonologists. So they are using these machines incorrectly. And that's why what they're doing is blowing out people's lungs, saying that they died from
Right.
COVID. So it's like, stop it, you know? Oh, and believe me, I know I was a private duty nurse to a guy who was on a vent. And believe me, you have to monitor that thing like you have to really monitor it. It's just not one of those things you're going to put in and then all of a sudden you just walk away with. No, it has to be closely monitored. And
Right.
any little thing, the thing will go off. So I don't buy that. So yeah, so I'm sorry to hear that. I really.
Yep. It's crazy, but what can you do? I mean, you try to tell people They just don't listen. They have too much faith in the hospital. So I mean, you just gotta let people learn for themselves. I don't know.
Yeah. Because I used to say, we can try to tell our family members, but we can't care more about their health than they care
Then
about their
they do. Right.
And as much as you love them and you want to see them, you know, survive and stuff, again, it's like what Mother said. You cough it out, you sweat it out, you spit it
Right.
out, you see it out. There's something that Mother Nature gave us everything that we need to
Absolutely.
combat anything that we come across, and so that's just really disheartening, especially me being a nurse. It's very disheartening, especially since I know it doesn't, those things doesn't have to happen. So, my condolences.
Yeah, we just
Thank
got to
you.
get back to our home remedies and remember, what our grandparents gave us. Because I was never sick as a child. The only childhood disease I had was the mumps. I never had the chicken pox. Um, I just never got sick,
Mhm.
but and then
Well,
also we have to eat healthy. We have to really work out. We have to really get out into the environment and get that fresh air. I
Right.
think a lot of us
and
are
I'm
just
gonna tell you,
cooped up
and
in the
I'm
house.
the best
Mhm.
thing for kids too is to get outside and put their hands in the dirt. I'm
Right.
Yeah.
gonna tell you, when you get your kids outside, because I see parents like, don't get dirty. No, let them get dirty. That way they
Mm,
build up an immunity to everything, so nothing will affect them when they
Right.
get old. And if one kid, like we all had chickenpox, but when one child had the chickenpox, everybody grouped all the kids together. So then, once everybody
Right.
got it done and over with,
The
and
whole
then
house. Right.
the whole house, and then everybody was done. And that's how herd immunity is supposed to work, and that's how it's supposed to have worked with this whole, CV thing. So instead of keeping everybody away, and isolated, no, there are people who, and let's face it, some people got it, and then some people, and I'm sorry, but notice how the regular flu all of a sudden doesn't occur anymore. Like the
mhm.
regular
Right.
flu season, all of a sudden, like what? So the regular flu doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Like it
Right.
existed for every time, every single. Now everything is CV, CV, CV. I'm like, no, it's not. You got a regular
Exactly.
flu, and I tell people, even with my sister, and I can't, because she's a biologist, and she's a sweet, and she says to me, oh, my sinuses are hurting, oh, I can't breathe. I was like, okay, so how are your lungs? Are you breathing good from your lungs? She's like, yeah, but they tell me I have CV. How are you going to have CV when CV is a SARS, which is the lower airway, lower respiration, when you can't breathe in your lungs? I said, so you basically went, because you had a sinus infection from a cold. Yeah, notice how people don't get colds anymore either. From a cold, you
Right.
let them stick something up their nose after you got two shots. And of course, what do you think they're going to come back and say? Oh, you got it. I'm like, so excuse my language. I'm like, so you're a dumbass with a master's degree in biology, and drinks the Kool-Aid. I can't. I'm like, is she serious? I'm like, okay. I'm like, I can't with her. I'm like, so you already got two shots. So you're gonna tell me that you got jab one, jab two, and you still end up with COVID? Then why did you get the jab? So what's the purpose of the jab? You know? So are you gonna get 3 and 4 now? And I'm like, and I told her, I said you have a cold. You have a
Right.
cold. So, and it's funny to me because she's a biologist. I said,
Wow.
you more than anybody can crack open one of them vials, put it in your microscope, and look and see what's really in it. I'm like, but instead of doing that, you just kind of fell for the, yeah,
To
if this
go
was
along
Jim,
with the get along.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, if it was Jim Jones, she would have been one of the ones in Guyana drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm just saying. She would have jumped the Kool-Aid, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, so again, we have family members who, and it's funny because the nurses in my family were like, "Oh hell no." Well, I'm like, okay. I'm like, guys, if nurses are telling you, then y'all want to go ahead and follow suit, it's on you. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, mother. That's very disheartening because that doesn't even happen. Yeah.
It doesn't. But and he's a very, I don't know, I can't say healthy, but he's a very, like, our people are big and stocky and, you know,
Mhm.
and so I don't know. I just don't know. I can't really speak on how his health has been recently or whatever, because I really haven't seen him like that, but it's just, they know me, they know how big I am on herbs and stuff like that, but they just don't pay attention. Whenever they see me, all they do, you still selling that tea, you still selling that CBD, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah,
The best thing, we was talking about CBD last week. Heck yeah,
right.
because it's one of the things, NAC guys, NAC, N-acetylcysteine. The FDA is trying. I talked about this for like the last 2 weeks. Because anytime a supplement gets on the FDA's radar because they want to take it off the market, you better just stock up on it. Okay, that
Back
is
up on what,
CBD.
mother?
It's called N-acetylcysteine. Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up because I got everything in my notes here. We've been talking about that because anytime the government wants to target something,
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason why. Okay, hold on. Let me look up in my notes. I'm gonna tell it to you. I'm gonna spell it. It's called N-ACETYL dash L dash cysteine, CYSTEINE. Make sure it says that, okay? N-acetylcysteine. And what it does is it not only and then I was like, okay, so why are they on N-acetylcysteine? Because you can get it at Walmart and everything. And that's exactly the website that I have people go to get it. That and quercetin and CBD. Okay, N-acetylcysteine, what it does, it boosts cellular. Okay, it does more than that, and not only just boosts cellular oxygenation to the it also is a repairer of DNA repairer. Okay,
Mm,
so not only
okay.
does it stop how can I say what do you call that damage to the DNA, it actually reverses the damage. It goes
Mm,
into reversing the damage at a cellular level. And
mm,
and now something that you can get over the counter, and all of a sudden it's on the FDA's radar. Why? And I'm like, because when they want to try to mess with the cells and your
mm-hmm.
DNA, they don't want anything stopping that process.
Right.
So that's why they got the N-acetylcysteine there. And CBD is another one.
Okay.
Okay. And now, it's like, okay, so now you're going to make it legal, but now you found out the health benefits, especially at a cellular level. Now you want to, go after it now. So
Right.
yeah, we're not going to do that. So that is another one. And I think somebody has sent me an article about a doctor. He's a Morris doctor. And that's one of the ingredients he uses to try to cleanse the body of all that stuff that's in there is CBD. And then we talked about the graphene oxide that's also inside of the inside of, well, for everything now, and basically inside the fat. So it's in um
Can you spell that the oxide one you were just saying?
graphene oxide,
Graphic.
graphene oxide.
Okay.
Or graphene oxide. And basically, that there is that's that really black nasty stuff that they've been putting in stuff. And graphene oxide is not good. So that's what they have. They've been trying to infuse it in the food. They've been trying to
Oh,
infuse
you're
it.
saying it's not good. Okay.
No, it's not. No, 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 no. That's what's been in one of the things found to be inside the shot. And
Wow.
they, and I've been telling people quercetin, 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 and that's the other one that they're like looking at. I can't stand these people. Oh my God, I can't stand these people.
Oh yeah, because it come up graphene oxide nanoparticles. Wow.
Yes, yes. So if you and see, like I have quercetin, and I've been, like this whole thing, like since when I found out my son took the jab, I'm like, you know me as your mother. I started him on the quercetin with zinc, because zinc is another one. I'm pretty sure they're going to go after zinc next. The
Mm,
quercetin with zinc, and I started him on the zeolite.
mm-hmm.
And I also started him on and this was months ago, so it's probably nothing in the system now because I gave it to him like every single day. The zeolite detox, the quercetin with zinc, and the colloidal silver. And yeah, so I've been talking about that because what they found was all those ships that they have bottlenecks between California and Florida,
Mm-hmm.
they're not being allowed purposely to come to stores because a lot of them have come from China and they've been infused with the graphene oxide. And so basically, supposedly, whoever is allowing them to stay there so they can rot, so they don't get to our cells.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the reason why. So for the last couple of weeks, I've really been going into the N-acetylcysteine, the quercetin, and then now they're telling people that they can't even get ivermectin, which has been proven to help combat all this. And now they're going after. Now they're telling people you can't even get ivermectin. So if you get quercetin, yeah, because that site that you had, if you go all the way to the bottom, they'll have the N-acetylcysteine with the quercetin brought together. So, and that's what people can use. So just to let you guys know, um, yeah, it's crazy. And then they were saying, I had another article where they were saying that these scientists in California are now trying to put what's in the jab. They're trying to infuse our food with it, more specifically lettuce, cauliflower, collard greens, all of our produce. They're infusing with the seasoning vaccine. Like they're literally growing it like that.
Mother Maria said graphene oxide is also in clothes. Wow.
Mm-hmm. They're putting it in every, yes, yes. So that's the reason why I've been really going into it over the last couple of weeks because again, when the FDA something gets on their radar, I'm like, okay, let me find out what's in it and what's going on with this and why are they trying to take it off the shelves. So yeah. And right now it's not that expensive, so you can get it. And and the CBD, I get mine from Hemp Bomb only because they have like a third party laboratory that you can actually click on to like on the bottom and get the lab reports. Because I love lab reports. I love looking at lab reports.
Yeah, the company we get ours through, well, we've been actually selling it. I don't market it that as much because I've been busy with other things, but we've been selling since like
Well,
2018 with
you need to like put your link up there. Because this is one of the things that the doctor uses to help try to flush this stuff out of the system. Put it in the link.
Yeah.
If I had known you guys sold it, I would have been giving you my money.
Yeah, we get it from changing the future outcome, CTFO. That's who we get ours from. We were one of the first companies that started selling it. But yeah, we have ours are third party tested as well.
Yeah, see, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's something that you want to.
I'll put the link in there. I gotta go grab it and stuff, but I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, and if you have any like any kind of thing that that you can get to cut
You
it off.
know, I try to get one here, but my health foods, where I get my health food stuff, the lady tried to, she said she would get me one, and then the person that the people that sell them, they don't put CBD on it because of Belize government. So they
Right.
put, you know what they
Hemp.
put on it? Deep jungle relief oil. Deep jungle relief oil. See, I
Really
only
fun, I like
wanted it so
that.
that it could help me sleep. I only wanted it to, to help solve insomnia. So when she brought it in, and she said, oh, they had to put that on because of the government,
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was very funny.
Oh, such a relief one. I like that. That's funny.
Hey guys, you know how we talked about, all our little business proposals when we get to Belize? And when I mentioned that graphene oxide is in the clothes, and I did an experiment, like I was hand washing something, and I have no explanation. I saved it in a glass jar. I'll take a picture of it. But it's like, what? Like, it's like a whole object came out of my clothes that I was washing.
Oh my God.
This particular top. It was very, it's almost, yeah, it's like almost a solid sheet of something.
Mm.
So I saved it so I can figure out who I need to go sue. But
Yeah, but you know what you need to do? Because sometimes, when you buy clothes, it's important to either wash it first
Right.
or have it, you can actually put it in boiling water or spread it outside of the sun.
In the sun.
But I've had this
Yeah,
particular item of clothing for a while. This particular time I decided to hand wash it.
Right.
Something still
That's
came out.
interesting. Yeah, because what I do with my clothes now to actually cleanse whatever energy it might have is there is this I use glue this because I was it's called I got it from Amazon, but then Africans do use glue to it's called Mrs. Stewart's liquid gluing. It's for it's kind of it kind of cleanses your your clothes from whatever attachments or anything that is not supposed to be there. It will remove it.
Mother,
Yeah.
can you put that in the chat for us, please? The name?
Yes.
Please.
Yes. So when I'm doing my final rinse, I always put the everything.
Guys, also, and I talked about this in my class too, because it's actually like a protocol, and I got the protocol. I actually emailed the guy because he was in the Marines, and he was kind of like they do this whole protocol where they get this stuff off of them, off the clothes and anything. And one of the main things they use is called 20 Teen Mule or MULE 20 Teen Mule, and it's a detergent that you can get that here in America, and you can wash your clothes with that. And they also have like a protocol that they use to even using it internally to get that stuff out from inside. I mean, you don't use a whole lot of it, but that's what they use, and that's what they wash their clothes with. It's called 20 Teen Mule.
Oh, you sure have talked about that. Okay. The one you can buy at Home Depot or anything like that?
You can buy it in
Yeah,
bulk.
okay.
Yeah. And that's the one where we had the protocols that we did to get it out. And they also had I got the protocol for him for when you have to ingest it and how it just literally comes out. Like literally. And then I also did the protocol that when you take a bath or shower with it, how you're supposed to wash down your tub and shower and stuff. And we also talked about the what do you call that washing with activated charcoal. So that also neutralizes them.
So you can
Oh,
actually
you
wash
wash
with
with
that?
activated?
Activated charcoal. You can get it like I have activated charcoal soap.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I got
Yeah.
powder form. Okay.
Mhm. I brush my teeth with it. I use
Mm-hmm.
it. Of course, you ask me brush your teeth with it, you use the regular toothpaste because it is to make your teeth white. But
Yes.
it's like I wash.
I have activated charcoal too. I use it. I actually got the toothpaste as well. So I use the toothpaste. Activate. Yeah, it's very good.
Even
It's
my
also
toothpaste.
good to help detox your body too.
That's
Yeah.
right. I also have that for detoxing.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
have a wooden toothbrush that's infused with activated charcoal.
Yeah. But
If your
be
body
careful.
aching so bad, you're hurting all the time, that means you probably got stuff in your system you need to get out. So
Yeah,
activate.
I don't use normal toothbrush anymore. I use chewing stick because
Yeah.
chewing stick, I get that from Nigeria because like when my mom got me some when she came to visit, and then when I went I bought some more. I use chewing stick. It gets to all the corners, and I don't have any. I'd never have any tooth problems.
Mm-hmm.
No. And the
That's
time that
something we
I
can
did,
grow.
I was using brush. And then, of course, when I went to the dentist, they always wanting to pull your tooth out, right? So what I found out is your urine is a good mouthwash. You know, your early morning urine can cure any disease except something that is structural. That's it. It will cure cancer, but you have to apply it in such a way that somebody, you have to do it. It's amazing. I've got this book called, I was reading it through somebody, it's a monk in Nigeria who had written a book about curing yourself naturally. And it was quoted in that book. So he mentioned about the, curing, and then I went and found the book online. It's actually downloadable online as an ebook. It's written by somebody I think it's like in the 17th century or 18th, early, is a very old book. And he talked about how he was able to cure a lot of people that the doctors couldn't cure. They have written them off to go die. And then as a last resort, they'll bring them to him. And all he did was just make them drink their own urine for maybe he would probably let them drink without eating anything. He would just give them that and water. And lo and behold, not only do they get healed, including diabetes, including cancer, their skin comes out glowing. Even there are people that were doubting whether it will work, even some nurses. But when they apply, what he asked them to their patients, they saw results just by being obedient. But some doctors, even though they have tried it, they realize that if they do, they will lose their license. So, yeah.
Mother,
You
you
said
said
about Dr. Sabi as well. Dr. Sabi was doing that too. And people wanted to say that he was a fraud for using that method, but
No, because
yeah,
it
he
has
was doing
uric
that too.
acid in it. And of course, when you have the uric acid and it goes back into your stomach, it does start to tend to kill pathogens. Like even if you watch those shows, Survival or, Alone or whatever like that, how do the people survive? They drink their urine.
You know
They
what
make
the book?
sure-
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what the book says? The book says that a lot of the women's makeup has urine in it, but because they don't know,
Uric acid, yeah.
yeah. And he actually tells you what the urine contains of. He lists all the different elements that is in the urine. But some people think, oh, yucky. He said, in fact, there was it even says that if you have gray hair, if you wash your hair with it, it would there was somebody on TEDx that there was a guy from India
but wait,
talked about it.
Wait, here's a caveat though, because you can't leave that stuff sitting around too long.
No. You know what it is
acid.
though? You can't. You have to be very hygienic. But the
You're
thing is, it doesn't smell when you put it on your body. That's the thing. It doesn't smell.
Well, let me
Although,
tell you,
with that
as a
said,
nurse,
it also depends on what you are eating. It
look,
depends on what you are.
I'm gonna tell you, because as a nurse, and I used to have to collect this stuff because I had to do input and output, and some of the stuff I see that was output was like stringy. Some of it was cloudy. A lot of it smelled. So that's
Yes,
one of the
I
ones that you
agree.
can't leave
Yeah,
it sitting
because it
around.
depends on what those people are eating. With that said, the guy in the book said, even when you apply, some people even drink cow's pee, it still works. Can you believe it? Cows, he said, the best one to drink is your own.
Look, again,
The
cows
best one to drink is your own.
Yes,
You
yes.
know?
But
Yeah.
I have that as a caveat because my 20 years of being a nurse, I've seen a lot of pee, and I'm like, oh, good Lord. I mean, I even see people pee with stuff swimming in
I
it.
agree, because it depends on what they're ingesting in their stomach, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But if you have a clean diet, again, because if you do watch those shows, that Survivor or stuff like that, and one of the things they do say is you can go 2 weeks without food, and but you can only go 3 days without water, and and that's what some of them did. They would just use that as they would pee in a flask or something, and then if they needed to, they would drink it. But that's an pinch, I would say. Yeah, or get some uric acid.
Yeah.
But then again, whose uric acid are you using? So I guess you better to use your own.
Well, he also said it's a good painkiller for toothache. If you have toothache, you just drink it. You don't have to drink it. You can just gargle it and throw it out. It will just help it will help soothe the pain, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to drink it, or you just use it to gargle your mouth and then spit it out. And then you can
actually,
wash your teeth
coconut
after.
oil will do that too. Coconut oil will do that too. Coconut oil will do that too. And
Yeah.
it's antibacterial as well.
And antibacterial, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I use coconuts to just to go around my teeth, and then I spit it out at further, because it helps remove it's antibacterial. It removes yeah.
And it also helps if you use it enough, because the toothache is coming from somewhere, and normally it's from bacteria and stuff that's down underneath that's causing the pain. And also, if you take a little bit of rosemary oil and rub it around the tooth, that'll help as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Coconut oil is good for your vajayjay too.
Coconut oil is good for everything. I got 3 different types of coconut oil in my house. I lied, 4. You will never see me without coconut oil, because when I did my one thing
at some point, that's all I use for my body. But now I use shea butter with I use shea butter with coconut oil or avocado oil.
Actually, I use coconut oil as a radiation treatment. And actually, a lot of hospitals use coconut oil on the skin to prevent infections. And also, like, if you think you've been exposed to radiation, you rub coconut oil on your body right away to disseminate whatever radiation poison you think you may have come in contact with. Because, because when I found out that they're spraying stuff in the air in New York, and I was like, and one of them contains cesium, I'm like, okay, people, stop rubbing coconut oil on, because not only is it antibacterial and antifungal, it also eradicates cesium.
Okay, good to know that.
And then if you get the MCT coconut oil, you can put that in your coffee or in food and stuff, and get it inside your body. That's what I was telling one of the students there, to put it inside and outside and help get that coconut oil.
The other thing that is good is black seed oil.
Oh, I
Mhm.
take that daily. I
I
take that
find,
Yeah,
daily.
they take that daily too. We gotta get
yeah, black seed oil is excellent. Oh my God.
I
Especially
do.
when you're having, if there's a sore throat coming, you just take that with warm water.
Mhm.
Instantly, you start feeling better. Instantly.
I take it right. Oh my God, I can't. Oh, it's a taste, but you know what? I just the grin and bear it. I don't take it at
Well,
night
we
though
got
because
the powder form, so I just put it in. I make these tea bags now where I have the lion's mane, I got turkey tail, Ganoderma, chaga.
oh, you guys, I was growing my lion's mane. This afternoon I'm gonna show people what it looks like because I
Mhm.
showed you guys last week what it looks like because it
Mhm.
just came. You should see it now. OMG. I
Yeah, I
love
gotta redo my log.
oh,
And
I love
I was
it.
able to harvest one time, and then when I tried to reharvest again from the log I have, it didn't
Yeah,
grow
this
right. So I gotta get a
time,
bigger bucket.
a bigger bucket, yeah. And
Yeah.
if you kind of put it like if you have like a humidifier or like what do you call those what like the essential oil diffusers, like without the oil in it or nothing, just
Mhm.
keep it in there and keep it kind of misty. They love it. Oh my God. And I bet you
But that's what I normally was doing, just coming down, spraying. I have a towel over the bucket, and I just make sure that the towel I spray around the bucket inside, and then I spray the towel to make sure it's moist, keep it to keep that humidity in there.
Okay, so here's what happened. My first log, okay, I did that too. I was
Mhm.
soaking the log, I was putting it around, I kept it, tried to put a little dome tent on it, and for whatever reason, it just didn't take and it didn't dry out. So then what I did was I ended up, it just couldn't be salvaged. The log just wasn't coming back. So I got
Right.
another log from, I got to say the name of this company. Oh my God, they shipped it to me and the stuff was already trying to grow during
Really?
shipping. Oh
Wow.
my God. So then I said, well, let me hurry up and open up the bags so they have some room to grow. And then
Mhm.
I have now one room where it's just, that's where I keep my carnivorous plants because they like the humidity. So I put
Mhm.
the log in there too. And when I say that thing just pop, and I mean a lot. I mean a lot.
Yeah, that
And
stuff is
so
good. We
it
fried them up, mother. I done made a new recipe. Mhm.
Yes, isn't it good? And it's good for your brain. It will
Yes,
keep
absolutely.
sharp. It will keep your brain sharp and focused. I
Mm.
think that was the second class I ever did was with lion's mane. The second class I ever did because I'm like,
Yeah.
no, we need to, besides it having a whole lot of other health benefits, that was
Mhm.
one of the things they started incorporating with people with Alzheimer's.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
It
keep your
also helps
brain
to repair the neurological system as well.
Right. Because it has the tendency of passing that blood-brain barrier, and which is
Mhm.
why it helps even with helping to get having metals away from the brain and spinal cords and stems and stuff like that. So yeah, my lion's mane is a bomb. Oh my God, I'm gonna harvest mine today. Okay, I'm gonna have to because I just need to. I just need to. I just need
Send
to.
some across to Belize.
I will send you some in Belize, brother. I don't know. I might be dehydrated by the time it gets to you, for sure.
Pack it in such a way. I have to even check whether it's something that is allowed because every packet that comes to